After you've put your film in the timeline of iMovie, there are probably 5 steps that you'll want to take to edit your film clip into a formal book review. The first will be to edit out the first section of the film that has the thumb turning on the teleprompter. Merely highlight that section after perhaps splitting it off from the rest of the clip. You can do that by at any point hitting Command and B at a point where the cursor lands, and that will separate the film into segments. You can then erase it that way. The other is to grab the handle on the side and merely compress the film in this particular direction. But since I don't want this whole first part, I'm going to highlight it and then delete it, and that'll remove it from the screen. The second step is probably to add a little bit of footage. If you have some good footage where your head is just static, you may want to add sections to the film at the very beginning just to give yourself room for titles or for a musical jingle. And you can do that by highlighting a good section of the film, coming up into the commands and hit edit and copy the section, and then move the cursor over a little bit and come back up and paste it, and that'll add footage at the very start of the film. And in this case, once again, I've added a part that we won't want, but that would be a good way to add sections that you would. The third thing will be to add a title, and there are a couple of ways to do that. First of all, if you go over to the title column, you see you have quite a few choices, and for this film I think you might want to use something in the lower thirds, this or perhaps this one right here, where you're going to put the title of your book review down below your face. That's if you want to use a title that's inserted into the film itself. And the way you would do that is to drag it right down here, and that's what I've already done. You can see this purple titling that's connected to the film clip, but above it is what reads the title that Quillen would be using for his, along with the author's name at the bottom. There's another way to do that, though, and that's to stick a title at the very beginning of the film clip, and that'll give you the sort of traditional black title that comes first, and merely by highlighting it and then clicking on it, you can highlight the title and clip in what you want. You can also change the color. Most of the commands that you're going to want, you'll have to hit adjust up here to locate. But for instance, if you want a title that's a different color than the standard white, if you go over here and hit any color in the wheel, you can change the text title colors very easily. You can also change the kinds of text typeface that you're using as well. After you've settled on a title, and I'm going to delete this one because I'm going to just stick with the title that's located in the text. Another thing you may want to do is to insert a picture. I've done that over here just at the point in time where Quillen mentions the book. And if I highlight that, you'll see I've used one of the options up in this range of commands. I've used picture in picture, and you'll notice that by merely grabbing it I can either elevate its height or design it so that it's not quite so obtrusive. Another way to do this, though, is to hit the side-by-side command, which would split the screen. Not as good a choice for our purposes because Quillen's a little bit more centered in this video. The other thing that you can do is picture-in-picture or cutaway, which would just cut away to the picture of the text, leaving Quillen's face out of the scene for now. But I'll stick with picture-in-picture for right now. And what will happen is when the text gets to this point where Quillen mentions the book will appear right there as well. And don't worry, once I get done with the text and I don't highlight that picture anymore, those little blue dots won't appear again. The last thing that I'm going to do in this is to put a little bit of a musical jingle at the very beginning. I've saved some MP3 files to iTunes, but then I'm also called them up to my desktop, and I'm going to take one of them and put them down in the soundbar right here. And since I just want a little bit of a jingle at the very beginning, I'm going to actually come down here, highlight the tune, come over here to about this point, and split the clip by hitting Command B. I'm going to erase the rest of the film. It's not something that I'll want to really use, and then I'll go back and I'm going to test and see just exactly what it sounds like.
If you enjoy traveling, Peter Mail's A Year in Province is for you. If not, I can still guarantee you will enjoy it. In this book, author Peter Mail describes in the first person what it is like to not only move to a new country.
So you can see we've got a good setup that gives the audience the information of what the title of the report is, a little bit of the music to establish a serious mood, and then the picture of the book's title so that people could easily locate it if they were looking for it in a bookstore. So those are 5 commands that will help you set up a book review with a little bit more formality and a little bit more structure.